Well, greetings once again. This is Dr. Bill Bailey, and this is VirtZine. VirtZine is the online magazine of virtualization and cloud computing. And we do a semi-occasional video netcast to kind of recap what we've been talking about on the VirtZine blog, which is at VirtZine.com, as it says here on the screen. So check that out. Now, VirtZine Netcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network, techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's right here on the VirtZine Netcast. Now, let's look at what we've been talking about on the VirtZine blog on this particular netcast. First item we've got here is that Dell has bailed out of their public cloud offerings. Now, Dell, like a lot of other companies, kind of got on the bandwagon of cloud computing, and they were trying to have their own public cloud like Amazon Web Services and a lot of other services that are out there, and they kind of came to the decision that it wasn't really an arena they wanted to be in. So they have gotten out of that, but even though they're the first high-profile company to get out of that particular arena, that doesn't mean they're getting out of cloud computing altogether, all right? They've just redirected their efforts. They are no longer going to be investing in OpenStack and VMware-based cloud services from Dell. However, they are going to continue to provide various cloud services to help you establish, you meaning you as a company, establish your own cloud services. So they're basically going to be like a consultant in that arena. Now, this was a big announcement that impacted the OpenStack community, which is an open source based cloud services platform, let's put it that way. But Amazon Web Services, which I mentioned, is going to continue to use or command a lot of cloud services, and there's still going to be cloud computing, I guess, is the bottom line out that I'm saying. And so I think that CloudStack shouldn't be too concerned. I think there's going to be continuing development in that arena. This whole cloud computing thing is still coming together, still developing. There's a lot of changes occurring. So I wouldn't take this as a huge negative, I guess is what I'm saying. That's just kind of my opinion, all right? So the next item we want to talk about is, talking about Amazon Web Services, is that Amazon Web Services has now been officially okayed or approved for federal use. Now, as you might imagine, the federal government and the Department of Defense and all those kinds of organizations are very, very serious about security. They're governmental level security, and so they have to be concerned about that. So there's a whole process and bureaucracy that they have to get to in order to approve use of a particular tool or platform or service. And so Amazon has been granted the agency authority to operate, an ATO, official government speak, from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services under the Federal Risk Authorization Management Program, which is called FedRAMP. Weird. Recommendations in terms of moderate impact level. Okay, they officially got that level of certification. So FedRAMP is the U.S. government-wide program which standardizes security assessment and authorization for cloud products and services in order to make sure that sensitive data on governmental networks is not compromised and is protected. So AWS, Amazon Web Services, achieved approval for the federal government. Now, you might say, well, what does that have to do with me? Well, it has this to do with you. At least you know it has been through a rigorous process, governmental process, to achieve that kind of security authorization. So that should give you some, comfort level, okay, that maybe your data would be safe under Amazon Web Services. Now, full disclosure, I use Amazon Web Services for this very program. I put the video and the audio up in the cloud using AWS, and then it is distributed around the world using their service called CloudFront. Okay, which basically the way CloudFront works, if you can imagine the entire world, and there are data centers strategically placed around the world, and the data is copied to each of those data centers so that the data that when it's requested through watching the video, it comes from the one nearest your location, which will improve download speeds, streaming speeds. You don't have as much buffering, so that's why our program is high quality, because we use this service. Now, you have to pay for that, and we do, but it is well worth it, okay? Now, this is a big announcement in terms of, it's important to me, okay, personally. This was one of my little personal finds that I got and have been thoroughly enjoying, and that is a new cloud-based service similar to Dropbox, kind of based on Dropbox. But talking about security earlier, there are some people who are kind of concerned about Dropbox security. Are my files safe? Are people at Dropbox going to be looking at those files? All those kinds of issues and concerns have been raised about Dropbox. Well, this new service is called Copy. Okay, C-O-P-Y, Copy. And Copy is a service of Barracuda Networks. Now, Barracuda Networks is a company that specializes in security appliances for business, where they have basically an appliance either as a physical appliance that you can purchase or as a virtual downloaded appliance that you can plug in using VMware or other types of virtualization platforms, and then it will scan and screen all the data that's coming into your business and protect you from malware. So they're security experts. They know what they're doing. So this Copy service intrigued me, and they have platforms support for Android and iOS and macOS and Windows and Linux. I mean, across the board support for all these different platforms. Now, here's what I'd like you to do, okay? Use this URL right here. I know it's very cryptic looking, but use that and sign up for the Copy service, and you'll help the doctor gain some more gigabytes of space, all right? Now, here's the other thing about it. With Dropbox, you start out with 5 gig of space. Well, with Copy, you start out with 15 gig of space for your files, and it integrates into the file system on your PC just like Dropbox does. So it's really, really cool, okay? So anyway, use that URL and help the doctor out and help me get some more space. I'll tell you, I'm already up to 50 gig of free space because of people that I've recommended to use it, and they've connected and are using it. You get 5 gig free for every person you recommend. So once you get it through me, then you send an email to your friends and recommend it to them, and it'll keep increasing your space. Dude, free space in the cloud. How cool is that? Okay, next item here. RV tools. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you. Now, on my other netcast, drbill.tv, we have the Geek Software of the Week. And we don't have the similar Geek Software of the Week here, but if we had it here, this would be my Geek Software of the Week for VirtZine, for the virtual world. Because as a VMware administrator, I'm a VCP, VMware certified professional, and I am in charge of managing VMware where I work at High Point Regional Hospital. And I'm telling you, this tool is awesome for so many reasons. This tool is called RV Tools, and I've got it posted here as a VMware admin's friend, and it is. I'm telling you, you need to download this software. It's absolutely free. It installs on your Windows PC. You point it at your VMware console, vSphere management console, and it pulls down data about your VMware world. Oh boy, I'm telling you, it is awesome. Now, I specifically got it for this reason. As you use VMware and as you move stuff around, occasionally you'll end up with junk in your data store that is no longer connected to a particular virtual machine. It's just kind of hanging out there, taking up space in your data store. This program, which is, and I have another little thing here, nice to have where. This program, for free, shows you where all those dead files are so that you can clean them up. Dude, how cool is that? And here's another one. You know how if you connect a CD virtually to a virtual guest machine, that can be a problem, and so you need to remember to disconnect your CDs? You can go into a screen in RV Tools. It'll show you the systems that have CDs connected, and then you can just click and remove that CD right from the RV Tools interface. Dude, I mean, it's just so cool. So I encourage you to check that out. Believe me, you will be glad that you did. Now, last item for this particular netcast. This one I just posted today. I'm recording this on a Saturday. But basically today, Citrix and NVIDIA team up to provide new GPU power for VDI. Now, you probably know, VDI is not the platform that most people use for heavy, graphically intensive applications. Like, for instance, at the hospital, where they have 3D visualization of medical imagery. You know what I'm saying? That's a really graphically intensive thing. So that's not something that we really run on our VDI platform, which we do. We have a large installation of VDI at High Point Regional. We're running VMware View, and I'm part of a team that helps manage that. Adam Flowers is our actual administrator of View, and then I handle kind of the back-end vSphere part of it. But we're all part of a team that works with VDI. And this is an interesting turn of events, let's say, for VDI, because what Citrix and NVIDIA have done, they teamed up together to make the Citrix Zen desktop able to handle graphically intensive applications even better. Now, Citrix did this also with Zen app by helping add that graphical enhancement with their HDV type product to enhance graphics, particularly for streaming, like YouTube videos and things like that over a session. This is different than that because they're actually doing it kind of at the hardware level. This is an article from InfoWorld, and it is talking about how Citrix and NVIDIA came together with a portfolio of hardware, software, and so forth to make this happen and to enhance the graphical processing unit GPU performance for VDI. Now, it says here as part of the article, I'm just going to read just a little portion of it. According to Citrix, tens of millions of knowledge workers can now benefit from graphics acceleration across any platform, Windows, Mac, or Android, using any device, desktops, laptops, tablets, or smartphones, on any application, OpenGL, DirectX, or GPU, as long as the device has a display and a Citrix receiver. NVIDIA's Grid vGPU makes it work. Now, that's pretty cool. So, I'm going to be looking into this. Now, obviously, we're using a View environment. We're not using Zen Desktop. But I'm curious about the technology behind this, and I'm going to be looking into it a lot more to find out what is going on with that. So, just wanted to share all this with you and encourage you to keep your head in the cloud.